This morning I got the impulse to share a story with you, and I think I'll share it in several parts because it's quite long. So check in a few days for the next one, next part. So many years ago I lived in Aberdeen in Scotland, and a bunch of people invited me to join them to go by bus from Aberdeen all the way to the Ukraine to take medicine and toys and clothes and all kinds of other stuff to children in orphanages in Chernobyl. And after this, to then go down to the Crimea on the south coast of the Ukraine, where we would do who knows what amazing signs and wonders and miracles. This was a Christian group. Now, I didn't have an awful lot in common with this group of people, but they really wanted me as a storyteller to go with them. And I felt a call to go with them, so I decided to join. Now, they had raised money, and an old bus was donated that had to be fixed up. And all these people who were not really engineers or mechanics were working on this bus for weeks. And all kinds of medicines and toys and goods and da-da-da-da-da was donated. And then another bus was donated. So now there were two buses to fix up, and it was all very exciting. There was one whole coach that was full of stuff. And another coach was full of 33 people, including 14 children who were coming on this adventure. And the idea was that we would take these two buses over there, we would distribute all this aid, and we would fill that second bus up with children from Chernobyl and bring them back to Scotland for the summer, where they would be fed well and be able to see doctors and so on. Many of these children were sick. So, great, worthy cause. However, we set off with, cheers and blessings for the journey of the great endeavour. We set off, and within an hour, the first bus broke down. And we were, it was dark by then, or it was late at night, I seem to remember, and it was quite some time before we were rescued and we were taken back to Aberdeen. It was a whole week before that bus was ready to go again. And we set off again, second time. And this time the bus broke down, one of the buses anyway, broke down on the ferry as we got on the ferry to go to Germany. So in theory, from Aberdeen to Kiev was supposed to take us something like 18 hours or something. So we had these two buses. Now we crawled off the ferry in Hamburg, and we arrived in Germany, and it was Saturday afternoon. So everything was closed. All the shops were closed, the garages were closed, and we had a broken bus. And then it turned out there'd been no foresight or planning about how we were going to eat. Whenever I asked anything about that, we were told it's all taken care of, just trust, no problem. So we pulled up and discovered that we were in the red light district, and the ladies were wandering around, and we had these children with us. So I took the children off with a few of the others in the other bus, often found a beautiful park in Hamburg. I can't remember what it's called, but if you know Hamburg, it's really the best park in the world. Had everything. We had a great time. When we came back, we discovered that somebody had taken pity on the group and given them the use of an office in a shipping building, and they had been ringing all over Germany and trying to get help and so on, and had been put in touch with an army base somewhere else in Germany. And somehow they had discovered that what was wrong with the bus was there was a part in the engine that was broken and could not be fixed, but a new one would have to be ordered. And of course it was going to take forever to order this new part. It was an old bus, I can't remember where it had to come from. It was a great big long story. But anyway, the army camp somewhere else in Germany decided that they would come to our rescue and make in their workshop the piece for the engine overnight. But then what we were going to do, we didn't really we had almost no budget, you know, and we had very little food, and, you know, all of this was supposed to just take a day, you know, to get there. Now we were stuck. And through different phone calls and arrangements, somebody put somebody in touch with us, and a church in Hamburg took all of us in, all 33 of us. And it still makes me cry to remember. It was so incredible. This whole church organised themselves. They cooked food, they brought bedding, they made their church into a hotel for us. And it was just such unbelievable generosity to a bunch of strangers. And the next day we were in a service with them, and of course I couldn't understand very much of what was going on, but it was so powerful as an English person who grew up with the Germans being the baddies, to receive this phenomenal generosity. And the next morning, the piece in the bus was fitted by these army guys, and the people in the church packed us up with food and fruit and bread and meats for the journey, and we set off again.